For a minute there, I totally blanked out on what I was supposed to do. I was fiddling with a couple of things over here on my side between things happening with the computer and things happening with the model. I was trying to get a little bit more done so that I can show you that I actually did some progress. But between that and weird computer issues, yeah, it's been a fun last hour for me. Hey guys, welcome to the Fultz Bailey Model Railroad channel. My name is Rick Bailey, I think. Yep, and that's where you are. Welcome in, welcome in. This is my Friday night modeling madness show. Still don't have everything correct here. Looking at the participants list, trying to get that loaded up. I did see a new name in chat. I got to go back and I got to find it now. Yeah. That guy. Where's it at? Why isn't it posting? Oh, it's not working. Can you believe that? Did that move again? You remember we had to play with this last time? So I'm getting chat in. Why am I not getting my screen? It's always something. And I can't test this part unless I go live. So my on-screen stuff should be on that page. Wait a second. There's got to be a way. Enable studio mode. There. All right. Studio mode. So I don't screw you guys up. Social stream. Okay. The overlay is there. But nothing is going in it. Jeez, I tell you, I can't get anything right these days. All right, new guy's name is Barry Olson. For some reason, that sounds familiar. Not sure why. That's the dock. Properties. Social stream. Okay, so that's that part. Where is... Where's the overlay? That's the dock. Pre-styled overlay. Okay, so the overlay, does it have the right session number? No, of course it doesn't have the right session number. Why would it? Okay, copy the link. Hang on, guys. I think I figured out what it is. It's going to take me just a second. Apparently, the screen where the overlay goes to has the wrong session ID. So I just need to copy that out. And pop that in. And I think if I did that right. Oh, I don't need that. I just need that. Okay. Bingo. See that? Okay. I'll tell you the things, you know, okay, now I can turn that off. All right, now let's go ahead and get this show started. There's Barry Olson. That's what I was trying to do. There you go. Here, greetings from Arlington Heights, Illinois. My God, this computer stuff is like really, really difficult. Ola from Steamy Philadelphia. Don't I know it, dude? It's the same down here. And the weird part is it feels cooler outside than it actually is in this apartment. And I don't know why. Crazy stuff. It's crazy stuff, but it is humid out there. It is hot out there. And I don't like it. All right, so what are we going to do tonight? Well, I don't have anything fancy to show you, which is kind of nice because we could just stick straight to modeling, which is great. So yeah, I think that's really all we're going to do. I did do some work on the model. My daughter actually did some work on the model. I could show you that. I have been promising you guys, and honestly, right now, I think I'm going to give it up. You have more issues than Curly's live stream. Nice. I like that. I like that. Um, so I have been promising you guys for a couple weeks, and I think I'm just not going to be able to do it. But I've been promising you a what do you call it? A premiere on the Fridays that I'm not here, and it doesn't look like I can come through with that. And I apologize. I really wanted that to happen. I really wanted that to be something consistent so that I could be here every Friday for you guys. But honestly, I just can't. I can't get to it. They're between trying to find time on the off week to work on the model, and then to videotape that and to edit all of that, even to get you, a real quick, whatever, 15-minute, half an hour video. It's just time consuming. For the second week in a row, I have everything that I worked on taped. It's all recorded, but I cannot seem to make the time to go through and edit it. So I think instead of just promising you guys that, I think I'm just going to squash it. I feel so bad that I can't make that commitment, but it is what it is. Some good news on my side, just something personal. I was able to, as you guys know, I am now a separated single dad and sharing custody with kid's mom. And just this last week, we were able to agree on more custody for me. So I'm going to have my kids a lot more. A couple days now, we're up to 5 days. So I'm really, really happy that I'm getting to spend more time with them. So I will have them from Thursdays to Tuesdays now on my off weeks. And that's why I can't be with you guys. So with having them more, it's just going to be a more of an issue of not being able to get those videos out. So we'll just stick with the live shows for now. And if I can creep in a small video here and there, I certainly will. But from here on out, just expect, until I actually have a layout that I can work on, just expect that we're going to do these live shows every other Friday. So, all right. With that being said, we're going to do our normal intro stuff and get through all the announcements, and then I'll show you what I did, and hopefully we can actually do some work tonight. So I see everybody in chat is saying hello and getting information about that T-Track, and we'll see how it goes. So without any further ado, I know you're waiting for her, and I'm glad to bring her up here. Guys, say hi to Rita. Awesome. All right, let's jump over here to the side cam, and we'll see about getting through on some of these chats. See who's listening. Hey, what just happened to my oh, I just lost a string on my microphone. I think I need a new string. There you go. All right, now it's looking good. All right, so where's my mouse at? There we go. All right. Always happens when I switch time. I saw something over here from my man Rusty. There you go. It says, get as much quality time with the kiddos as you can. Yes. Love my kids. Love hanging out with them. I went right over to the side cam and didn't even do what I wanted to do. All right, hang on. I'm skipping around way too much. Let's jump over to the participants tab real quick, and let's see who's here. So far, we've got Bill Hawk 65 is in the house. Welcome in, Bill. There's a name that I haven't seen before. There's Bert. Is it? I'm going to pronounce this. Is it Burdette? Burdette Pettit? Correct me if I'm wrong. Everything seems to be squashed together there. Let us know who you are, what your name is. Say hi. Let everyone know so I can say hello to you. Remember, guys, if you haven't said anything in chat for a while, that list isn't going to get updated with your name. So at least say hi so your name pops up there so I can say hi to you, and so can everybody else in chat. If you're new here, let everybody know where you're from so everybody knows where to stalk you at. Names are disappearing, and I'm not sure why. People are going away. All right, I'm going to try and get through this before we lose more people. Chessie, System, and Clippy Fan. Look, I got it right this time. Is in the house. Hey, welcome in. Welcome in. Deep Run Mike is here. Good to see you. Drew is here. Good to see you, Drew. Thank you for stopping in. Joe Rader from the Black Rock Central is here. Dwight over there from the Curly Express is in the house. Greg, I think Curly actually got the cookie. He was the first one that I saw in chat tonight. I got Curly Express is here. Greg is here from the Midsummer Railway N Scale. Welcome in, Greg. Russ from the Possum Bayou Railroad is here. And Mike, the rail artist, is in the house. Ron Moen is here. And this week, bringing up the rear, last on our list, but first in our hearts, is my man 3Dub. That's Wig Wag Workshop. Did I miss anybody? It looks like chat jumped, or it grew a little bit because I got some more people in here, or I got some more names. All right. Oh, there we go. I see. All right. Now we can go over to the STS schedule. So we got a little update in the schedule. So if you see there, John did last week on 5/2. That's great. I was supposed to do this Sunday. You were supposed to get a double header. Unfortunately, my work finally doubled down on the trip to Texas, and told me last week, hey, you need to fly out on Sunday. So I will actually be on a plane on my way to Texas on Sunday. So the fill-in here is going to be Dave from DB Tech. So I will pop up a link in just a moment or two with all of these guys' channels. Make sure you check them out, especially Dave, because Dave from DB Tech is going to be live on Sunday on the 9th. So check out Dave's channel. Coming up the week after that on the 16th is going to be Bob. The 23rd, you're not going to want to miss that show. Ray is going to do our special anniversary show. That's going to be on the 23rd. And then he's also going to follow up the end of the week there on the 30th over at the Ray Boebel channel. And of course, coming up in chat right now should be the link to all these guys' channels. Again, make sure you click on those links, go over to their channels, check them out, subscribe, watch a couple of their videos, show them some love. We have to listen to Ray twice this month. Yeah, unfortunately, yeah, it happened that way. But Ray did want the anniversary show, so we gave it to him. And then, of course, he always ends out the end of the month. So let's jump back over to the side cam over here. And I don't even know if I can get through going back and saying hi to everybody or seeing who said what in chat. So we're just going to move forward. It's already 1/4 the hour. But Burdette Pettit said I got it correct. So there you go. All right. We got a new person in the house. Good to see you. Love that little puppy, y'all. He's so cute. All right, guys. So here's what I got done. Willow Creek is not here. I'll be last. Yeah, nice. Take your spot back, man. Fight for that. Oh, man. We have to listen to Ray twice. That kills me. So the anniversary show will likely be a group affair. Yeah, probably will be. I'm going to try and see if I can make it. I think I might have the kids that weekend. So they may be running around in the background and you may hear them, but I'm going to try and get in there. Nathan DeLay, welcome in, buddy. It's good to see you. So what I've done so far, I think the last that we left off, we got the main building together, which I think we saw the last time. And I think you and I worked on getting this little side piece together. And then I think we kind of got stuck on time at that point. So what I did is I went back and I did do the, I'm not sure if I had this done or at least I maybe started. I'm not sure. This is the roof piece for that, that little side. Let me see if I can get my hands in here right. There we go. All right. So that is the tar paper roof that goes on the top of that piece. That's that side building piece. So we got to get that glued on to make that look good. And then of course it got to get weathered up. I did lift up a couple of those pieces. I want to also go back and tear some of them out. On the time off, I bought a 3D printer, Beetlejuice house in Chattanooga. Okay. I'm glad you got a 3D printer. I'm not sure what it has to do with Beetlejuice house. Are you printing the Beetlejuice house? Is the actual Beetlejuice house in Chattanooga? Interesting. Bob, I have to get that. What did Bob get? Bob, what did you get? That's cool. They had a great model layout in that movie. Yeah, that was an amazing layout. Honestly, that might have been one of the things that led me to modeling. Just that whole scene, that whole town. I think I mentioned before a couple weeks ago, I went to the Greenberg's train show that was up in Oaks, Pennsylvania, and there was a model railroad club there from Strasburg, Pennsylvania. And they have an enormous long stretch of almost the entire scene of the excursion line that you can take in Strasburg, Pennsylvania. I mean, it goes all the way from the rail yard all the way down through, the cow fields and the corn fields and even the little playgrounds that you see for the kids as you go through the excursion all the way down to Paradise, Pennsylvania. It was amazing. And it was so cool to just walk by that scene and go, oh, I saw that. And that's exactly how it is. And I saw that. And that's exactly right. And that's on point. There was not a single thing in there that, not that you would say that's wrong, but not a single thing that you could point out that they didn't get right. It was so awesome. And I got to love that because that, having someone putting in that time and that effort, you can't go wrong. You can't go wrong. On the 13th of September, I'll be going to the Pittsburgh one-way trip with Amtrak, and my Uncle Dan is going to take me back home to pick up something for business as well. That's awesome. Enjoy your trip to Pittsburgh. I will be coming back from Texas, so unfortunately, I won't be around. How hard is it to model something for a 3D printer? Whenever I get some checks cashed, I think I might buy a 3D printer. I couldn't tell you. I don't have one, but I can tell you Bob from PK&W Model Works is a very good modeler in 3D printing, and there's a whole bunch of other people like Dwight from the Curly Express. It's not bad, and a lot of things. Don't listen to Rusty. There's a lot of things that you'll find that are already created out there on the internet through Thingiverse and other websites, and you can always scale almost anything down to 1/87th. So it's not as bad as you think. Taking the time to learn the program you're working with and how the program works is going to be most of the effort, I believe. That's one kind of thing that I'm dreading doing. I do want a 3D printer, and I do want to get into that hobby because it is a hobby unto itself. But taking the time to learn the program and how to use those various programs is the only thing that I'm lacking right now. So see there, Bob says there is a learning curve on CAD, but he loves modeling his own prints. In Dwight's voice, Bamboo Lab A1. Yep. Stole that from JD, by the way. You can also use AI to create printable models. I know, yep, Bob works a lot with AI in creating images and things. All right, let's get down here to the workbench and I'll show you what I did. Because we are just chit-chatting away and my hands are going like crazy for some reason. Now I can't find the button. Oh, we got to go to Droid Cam. All right, here we go. So on my time off last week, I did complete, as I said, here's the roof. I got that all completed and painted up. I also went back and painted the inside. Something here wasn't painted correctly. And I did get to paint the bottom of that staircase, which is also done. The other thing that I did was I used my airbrush and I painted up all the windows and I just made those black. What I tried to do, and I miserably failed at, I went and you guys remember I love doing the glaze on the windows rather than using the clear plastic sheets, the acrylic sheets. So I did go and put, see if we can get this to focus. There we go. So you can see the windows are all glazed in, and I think they look great. I love that that little marbled look they have to them. I don't know if that's the correct word, but they're not like I guess you would call them like single pane glass. But that wavy look, I love it. Love it, love it, love it. The problem that I had was it was great for all of these little tiny windows, but when you started to get up to the larger windows like here, I wasn't able to get a consistent pull on the windows, and you could see some of them are broken, some of them are really thin and look like they're about to break. If I flip this over, you can see I've got like heavy amounts of glue on there where I tried to pull the glaze over. It just didn't work. So I think I am going to have to go back and use the acrylic for the larger frame windows, because it just wasn't working. But I did the doors too with the little panes. Some of them stuck and some of them popped. Ron Montag, welcome in, my friend. Good to see you. So I don't ever go back and put those broken ones in, because I like to see, I mean, sometimes when you go past these old buildings, you know, there are broken windows on them, and the older pane window glass, they don't often repair them, unless it's something like a renovation or something like that, when people go in and like a new buyer would do it. But normally if you've got an older business and there are no weather problems, you will see these broken windows, and I like to leave it that way. And I think it does a better job. I did have an issue with, was it this piece? Yes, I had an issue with this piece. When I went to go and slide the door in, I realized that the door wasn't fitting into the opening. The opening was too small. So just before I went live, I went ahead and I had to file out some of the doorway, and I was able to get the door frame in there. The other thing that I'm not too happy with, and I'm not sure if I can, I know how I can fix this. It's just an extra step. But I realized that as I had these pieces of door frames and windows sitting on my desk, what's happening is the glue, for some reason, when I was trying to glue them in, the glue was pulling off the black paint, which I thought was very odd. Even though the doors and the windows were sitting for quite some time, the paint was still getting pulled off. But I noticed if an item sat down like this paint first and it moved around on the desk, it's got smudge marks and scratches on it, and looks like the paint's coming off. So I will need to go back and do some touch-ups. Thought maybe I could do those with a brush and see if I can get maybe some contrast with the brush, and get some details on there, and probably maybe make it look like wood or something of those sorts. I didn't quite like how, like, I didn't think about this at first, but this black building, I painted this black. I also made the door and the upstairs window black. And now I kind of wish I would have done this something other than black, but I'm not going to go back and change it now. So it is what it is. But yeah, something I just didn't think about. So I think what I'd like to do at this point is I want to go through and get the side pieces put together. I'm not going to put the windows that need the acetate in just yet, because I don't want to have to fiddle with having the window in there and then fitting the acetate to it. So I think I'm going to wait and just cut the acetate, glue it to here, and then put the window in and see if that works better than putting the window in and gluing the acetate to the back of the window. The problem I see with that is these windows aren't exactly flush with the back of the building. There's a little bit of a recess. So I'm thinking if I glued them to the back of here, it's not going to look quite right on the window, because then the window frame will look recessed from the glass, and I don't want to do that. So I think I'm gonna just wait on that. The wood color came out well. I like it. I like the way it looks. I even like the way that this came out. Even with the splash of green color, you really can't notice. Oh, so you can somewhat on the building. The front building has more than the sides do. Not exactly sure why. Maybe I'm just a little heavy-handed on one end, but I did like it. It is kind of unique. Even some of these other pieces, like this, to me, on my side, this is very, very gray. To you guys in the camera, it kind of looks green. But I have noticed that over time, since we've colored these, the color has changed. This piece is very, very dark. And all of these pieces down here that appear black, they were not before, but they are now. Dwight says, what color did you use? Well, on the main building, what I did is I used this. Did I use this? Yeah, I think I used this. This is like a rust colored just piece. It's a paint that I think it's actually rust color. Did I use, I'm not sure if I used that or no, I think I might have used this. So I think this is burnt umber and I think this is rust color. I think I used this. So I put this into my airbrush and I originally sprayed it with this, but I thought the building came out too pumpkin-like. So that's when I started going back and I used a gray color, just a standard gray color, and I kind of toned it down a little bit with the gray color. And then I went back with just a regular, like an evergreen, might be an oxide color, I think. And I just used a sponge and I sponged some green on it. That's all I did for the main building. Yes, Bill, that was my intentions. Made it look like moss and mold. And I think what I might do when I'm all done, I think I'm going to go back because I have some that this is something that came off another project. This is just sawdust. And I think I'm just going to darken this up with a darker coat of green. And I think I'm just going to glue that on there. And my other option is to also, oh, here's a darker color. I also want to go back and use some, I don't think I have any right now, but I want to get just some yarn, some twine. And what I've noticed is if you take some yarn and some twine and you twist it apart, and kind of spread it out, you leave one end intact at the bottom, and then you kind of twist it out, and it becomes these look like branching looking things, and you can paint them brown, and it'll look like vines going up the side of the building, and kind of gives an earthy look to it, like the building's been there for a while and it's getting overgrown. I need a color for my new JJ roundhouse. I mean, just to go back to the main cam here, I've got over here 36 different colors you can choose from. I got this set of paints from Hobby Lobby. They are all, I believe they're all 1 ounce. They might be maybe smaller than 1 ounce. They're a quarter of an ounce, 0.7 fluid ounces. They're all little tiny not jars, they're little tubes of paint. I caught them when they were on sale. Like I said, I believe there's 36 of them. I will never run out of paint. The only thing that I don't like about these is some of the paints, especially the lighter colors, they are very, very translucent. So you really have to use them a lot in order to thicken up the color. And some colors just don't seem to thin very well. They work very well as a thick coating. Some you can use right out of the bottle. If you're not putting it in an airbrush, some of them you can put right into a tray and just put it on one coat. That's it. And they work great like that. I used a lot of that on my, on the courthouse building that I did. But some of them you really do need to thin out, because it seems like the thicker the paint is, as soon as you try and spread it, it becomes very translucent. So thinning it out will allow it to settle on your project. And believe it or not, you'll get a thicker color. And especially the second and third coat in will look better. I was hoping to see you again in October. Are you planning to be, I think that's supposed to be at Ray's? I am hoping to be at Ray's, so I'm hoping to be there. That's my goal. I kind of like a brown brick color. Brown brick color is awesome. I don't think that's a bad color at all. These other side pieces here, these are the outcrop buildings. These were all just stained, and I believe we went with a burnt umber for a stain, and that's all that is. So I kept those just as stains. So let me look at my paperwork over here, and we're going to see the buildings. Let's go with, so this side building here is this side. Where's that at? Okay, so this side gets that ladder part. This sits there. So the next piece would sit under that. So I'm gonna wait on doing that. We could put it together, but I'm not gonna glue it on yet. There's another building that goes on the side here, but I don't believe okay, that's weird. So there's no, what do you call that? What are these things? Tongue and groove kind of thing? So here's the weird part. Okay, let me show you. So this would be the one piece that would go on this side, like that. And then there's a door, if I'm doing this right. Hold on, let me make sure I got the right side of the building. No, I don't. So those are the tabs that go on the other side. So this side would be this, the two windows, and the one with the door. Okay, no tabs on these. That's what it was. All right. So, so this is going to go, this part goes here. This part obviously goes there. And then this part goes in the rear right there. And then that just gets glued to the front of the building like that. Ta-da! And of course, I'm off camera the entire time trying to convince my wife she must see the BRC. Nice. All right, so that would go like that, and this has no tabs. So this would just be a straight glue building to building, still off camera, right there. How about that? All right, so let's get this glued up. And then we should be all right. Then we'll get the other side glued up too. And then hopefully next week we'll be able to get all the pieces together. I could glue that other side on. Okay. So that, I need to make sure that I'm putting this on right side up. Hang on, I need my goggles. Not a problem, Bill. It's good. It's good to have you here. All right. So my goggles tell me that okay, here's what my goggles are telling me. My goggles are telling me that the building, I'm holding the building correctly from top to bottom because the shingles are covering each other, right? From top to bottom. And my goggles are also telling me that I put the windowsills upside down. So there's nothing on this side, but there's a windowsill on this side. So these two windows are upside down. So now I got to fight and try and get that back off. Because apparently I wasn't paying attention. Great job, Rick. All right, let's see. And the good thing is, if I pop a window, a glass, oh, that popped out pretty easy. All right, so this has to go like that. Get some more glue on this. And then that goes in. Like that. And the windowsill is on the bottom. See that extra little flap right there? Yeah, up here it's completely flat. There's the little windowsill. So Rick did it wrong. Just use a little toothpick kind of thing to get any of this extra glue off. I'm going to pop this guy out. So I'm just gently pressing on the corners, trying not to press on the glazed glass. So we're going to flip that over. Put a little glue in there. All right, so now that's right. And that's going to be the side piece. So I already got glue over there. So we're going to put this piece on first. And I just noticed. Okay, see how this piece is large and the inside piece there is not so large? That's because I had to use, if you remember from last week, I had to use a different size bracing for the board because I ran out of the good stuff. So now I got to bring in that block and I got to make sure Actually, I'm going to put this down like that. So that sits flat. Yeah, that's not going to help because let me see. Will this might work temporarily. I don't know if this is too big. I think this is the same size bracing. Let me see. If we put that in, no, that's going to leave too much of a gap between that. So that won't work. All right, we're going to have to do this by eye. Because I don't have anything that's going to, so the problem here is that little small piece, because this part's too big, that piece isn't touching that piece, which is giving it wiggle room that way. And because there's nothing behind it, there's wiggle room for that to go in and out. And I can't seem, I'm going to have to put a ton of glue on there and just hold it in place for a bit. Because there's no other way to do that, I don't think. Unless anybody's got any other ideas. Orca silver. What if I do this? Well, that kind of works a little better. Does that look straight? Yeah, that'll work. All right, let's give that a minute. Oops. I've seen a button in my slicer that I can add texture. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, it wasn't before, but I think it is now. I don't know if I can move this over. So what I did is I stuck the block just fit between that post and that post. And that's what I'm using to brace that and this middle one against. And that's kind of giving me the 90 now. I needed those magnifying glasses earlier when I was wiring my decoders. Yeah. I think I got these on Amazon. They came, do I have them? I don't, somewhere. They came with a little case that has different magnifiers in them, going from like 1x to 2x, to 2.5, 3, 3.5, and 4. I think you got. These are 2 times magnifiers, and I started. When did I need these? I'm 45 years old now, and I started using them back in 2023. So I noticed as I was modeling, little thingies were not coming up clear anymore, and I noticed that these helped. I've also gone to the dollar store and gotten you know, the magnifiers, glasses, reading glasses that they have, and I use them for when I'm reading stuff on my phone, or even sometimes just sitting at work with the computer monitors so far away. I sometimes have to put them on and look at the monitor and go, oh, okay, that's what it says. But so far, so good. Rick's not paying Rita enough money. Enough money for what? How many eyes Rick Tree has? The thing I like about these is there's a light on them, which really does help. But you can also, when you're not using these, you can bend them up and get them out of the way. And they have this other feature where the lens itself is on a little pivot, and you can move it closer or further away from you, depending on what you need and how you need to see. So it's very, very functional. Oh no, Mike saw Rita somewhere else. Jeez. I saw Rita doing a shirt from another YouTube creator. Oh no. Mike, you need to find out who that is. No, it is a public video. I did purchase the rights to use it, but it is not my creation. So I'm not surprised that you saw Rita somewhere else. She twilights in a bunch of places. All right. So there we go. 90 degrees. That kind of stuck. That's good. I'm going to move over to the other side, which is where this comes in. And that's going to stick right there. And luckily that side does touch. So hopefully we just have to put a little glue there. And let it do its thing. Now, I'm wondering if the other person that you saw doing the t-shirt thing of Rita, I'm curious if they saw it and copied it from me, knowing how Rita is so popular. Now this one, we're going to do the same thing, but on the other side. So that will stick just like that. That fits right in between there, thankfully. And then we just squeeze that in. We'll just hold that for a minute. She's two-timing me. Oh, that broad. Can you believe it, Bill? She must be a Philly girl. It was a still shot. Yeah, there are the place that I got it from, the website that I got it from, they have all of the actors are, I guess, models. Models is the most appropriate word. They have like a whole package. You can buy the stills of certain things. What you do is you upload your image with a blank background. What do they call that? Transparent background of your logo. And then they do the whole image part of it, and they'll put the image onto that graphic tee, or some people have like the cloth bags, whatever is in the image that where your logo would go. So yeah, there are some still shots from all of the models, and some have videos. Definitely a Delco. Oh, she could be a Delco girl. She definitely could be. Absolutely. Probably more Delco than Philly, I guess. Yeah. She's a working girl. So the story I've mentioned this a bunch of times, but I'm probably sure Bill's not aware. Bill, many years ago, I was doing a video of I got these. I don't have the car with me, but I got these decals in, these graphic decals in, and I wanted to. They look like spray paint, and I wanted to put them on this grain car that I had, and I was doing it live, and I was putting the decals on and everything. And there was this one decal of this woman, it's a little heavy set, more of a heavy set woman, but looked like it reminded me of a movie years ago. There was a cartoon that came out called Bebe's Kids, and the woman reminded me of someone from that movie. And I could have sworn, I might be wrong, but I believe there is a woman in that movie whose name was Rita. And when I saw this image, this decal, I said, man, she looks like her name would be Rita. And ever since then, that's how Rita got started. It wasn't until after that that I found the video of this other woman, and everybody kept referencing her as Rita, and they thought Rita was the model in the picture. So it just stuck from that point, and I just never changed it. So now in my intro, I think it says it on the screen on the intro, and I introduce her now as this is Rita. So this is everybody's interpretation of Rita. I don't know Rita. I have no idea who Rita is. But Rita is in my intro and has been for many years now. And everyone loves her. Everyone loves to see her. All right, so that is that building. It has the door on the side. I do have to put that window in. And because I have to put that window in, I'm going to wait to attach that to the side of the building, because I don't want to have to go in and like put the glass in or anything kind of cockeyed. So I am going to try. I did decide just now that I am going to try and fit this on and see if I can get this glued in, because the only thing that I have to put on here is this little tiny window, which I didn't actually see until now. And this little tiny window, I don't even see on my workbench anywhere. So it is either gone, or my kids knocked it over, or there's a good possibility that I'm just blind. But I don't think it's here. But that's okay, because what I also can do is just I could board that up and just make it look like a like a window that's been covered. And we could do that. So it doesn't look like either one of these things want to go in their slots. And I'm not sure if it's because that's too tall or if that's just not wide enough. So I'm going to do the easy part first. I don't know if this is going to fit in there. No, that's too wide. I need a smaller one. I'm going to try and open up the opening just a bit with a file. Sorry for the noise. See if that works. Yes, we're in. We're in. So it looks like it's just not wide enough. This one, yeah, same thing. So let me pull that back off. Now this one's going to be harder because there's a piece of bracing behind that. So I'm going to have to try and see if I can just scoot this that way. Do a little bit on that side. And then I want to flip it around and I want to do the bottom of this too. If worse comes to worse, I could always just trim that off and just glue it flat. That might be the issue also. Maybe that the tab is just too, maybe it's hitting the bracing on the inside. I don't know. That looks, no, there's still, oh, there it is. It clicked. So that's that. And then that'll go in there. Yeah, that's it. So we just need to get a little glue on there and we'll be good. Just a little on the backside there. I don't want to put too much. Because I certainly don't want it poking out. See, all you guys know how generous I am with glue. Okay, there's that. There's that. This one seems to be pulling away at the bottom there just a bit. I'm not sure if you could see it, but it looks like I've got it. See how the doorway there, I got to squeeze. So I'm going to hold that for just a minute. Again, I could probably cover that with like a bush or some leaves or I don't know if I'm going to light that on the inside, but we could always come back and before we put the roof on. I don't see any light going through there. I don't think it's going to be an issue. Hang on a second. Oh, no, you know what it is? I know why it's moving. The doorway here, the door, come on, focus in on the door. That's what I want. If you look at the door right there, see that moving? That's what's moving. That is flat. That is square. That's not going anywhere. But this doorway has a little give to it. It looks like it didn't glue correctly. So I'm going to try and see if maybe I could squirt some glue back there. But honestly, I don't think it's a problem because this is covering the jam. For the most part, no, it's not. Yeah, I'm going to see if I could squirt some glue back there and get that covered. All right. That'll be another project. Whew. I think that brings us up on the hour. So here's what we got. That goes there. We know that goes there. And this part gets glued on right there. Like that. Right? And then there's one more part, which is this. And this gets these pieces. So this goes there. Which doesn't seem like that's going to fit in either because that is pushing up against there and that is not getting into that hole there. So I'm not 100% sure what I got to do with that. I'm thinking I may have to trim that back or sand that back a little bit, but that goes there. Let's see if we can just fit this real quick. That goes there, right? And then this has a little tab on it as well. That goes in the back, stands alone. And then this is the piece in the middle. And that goes there. And then that whole thing gets its own roof. And that gets a roof. And this piece on the other side gets a roof. we're almost there, guys. Next week might be all roofs. And I'll hopefully have the windows in by then. So I'll work on the windows and get the windows done. And then we also got to do these garage doors too, because there's 3 garage doors. There's 1 in the back and 2 in the front. So I'll get working on those and try and get that done. Dwight says, you're not putting stairs in? No, because once the roof is on, if I don't light that on the inside, you're not going to see the stairs anyway. This part here is going to be covered by that building that you just saw. And then the stairs, this part here, you're not even going to see that when that's flat on the building, but that's there just in case you get a view of something up there. Because remember, this is going to be right here, right? So you're not gonna see up in that corner, and then this is basically going to be sitting flat on the layout, so you won't even see up there. So either in that window there or down that window there would be the only place that you would see stairs. And again, if I don't put a light in there, you're just gonna have to imagine that they're there. So no, I'm not gonna go through the time of putting a window on there, or I'm sorry, putting a set of stairs in there. I think it'll be just fine without it. Wood kits, such a pleasure. Wood is forgiving. Yes. There's a lot of play, a lot of give with wood, better than plastic. And I think that's why I made the switch. Yeah. I thought Rita was the ex, Rick. No, Rita's not the ex. The ex's name is Jen or Jennifer. Yeah, Rita's not the ex. A lot of people in the beginning thought that Rita was my wife, but Rita's not the wife. Then again, I probably should have made Rita the wife because, she never back talks, she never complains, and she's always willing to show up every week. So maybe she should have been. So you never know. Thanks for the show, Rick. See you all over. Yes, guys, I'm going to throw up Dan's channel up in chat. Run over to Dan's channel. He follows my stream right after this, so definitely give him some love. I didn't see him here tonight either. I don't know if he had a notification or not, but check it out. Run over there and see. If you see him, then at least you'll be there. If you don't see him, then he must be off for the week. I don't know if he's on vacation or what the case may be, but we'll soon find out. But just back to the main cam real quick. Thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you for watching me model. You saw I made a couple mistakes, but we corrected those, and that's what modeling's all about, is learning from your mistakes and learning from others. So thank you for being here for that journey for me, and I so much appreciate it. Thank you again to the moderators who are here. I appreciate you guys showing up and taking care of chat and keeping me on track here. So let's go ahead and we'll run the outro real quick. Guys, you're going to see a video link over there for one of my other videos. Right below that's going to be a link to one of my playlists. And down below me is going to be that subscribe and like button. Make sure you guys do that. Thanks again, and I will see you guys in 2 weeks.